Imagine a river so choked with plastic waste that satellites can no longer detect water beneath the surface. Welcome to the Buriganga River in Dhaka, Bangladesh, a waterway that once sustained millions of lives but now flows as a toxic stream of polyethylene bags, bottles, and industrial debris. The stench is overwhelming, a cocktail of decomposing organic matter and chemical pollutants that burns the nostrils from hundreds of meters away. This is not just environmental degradation, this is ecological murder in slow motion. The Buriganga, whose name means Old Ganges, carries the lifeblood of 22 million people through Bangladesh's capital city. Yet today, its waters contain plastic concentrations exceeding 15,000 particles per cubic meter, making it one of the most polluted waterways on Earth. The river's dissolved oxygen levels have plummeted to near zero in many sections, creating dead zones where no aquatic life can survive. But here's the paradox that defies all logic. In the heart of this environmental catastrophe, 50,000 volunteers have emerged from the very communities that created this crisis. They're not scientists, engineers, or environmental experts. They're students, shopkeepers, rickshaw drivers, and housewives who have declared war on an impossible enemy. Their mission seems absurd: to resurrect a river that experts declared clinically dead. The question isn't whether they can succeed. The question is whether humanity can learn from their audacious attempt to reverse decades of destruction before it's too late. The Buriganga River system processes over 8 million tons of solid waste annually, with plastic comprising nearly 40% of this toxic cocktail. To comprehend this scale, imagine every person in New York City throwing away their body weight in plastic every single month. That's the volume flowing through Dhaka's waterways daily. The river has become a conveyor belt of destruction, carrying microplastics directly into the Bay of Bengal and ultimately the Indian Ocean. Scientific analysis reveals contamination levels that stagger the imagination. Heavy metal concentrations exceed World Health Organization's safety standards by factors of 10 to 50. Chromium levels from leather tanneries reach 800 micrograms per liter, 16 times the acceptable limit. Lead contamination peaks at 12,000 micrograms per liter in industrial zones, creating water so toxic it can cause neurological damage through skin contact alone. The plastic pollution follows predictable but devastating patterns. Single-use polyethylene bags, banned in many countries, accumulate in massive floating islands that block sunlight penetration and disrupt photosynthesis. Microplastic particles, invisible to the naked eye, have infiltrated the entire food chain. Fish caught in the Buriganga contain plastic concentrations exceeding 200 particles per gram of tissue, levels that render them unsafe for human consumption. Industrial discharge compounds the crisis exponentially. Over 4,000 factories dump untreated effluent directly into the river system, contributing an estimated 1.7 billion liters of contaminated water daily. The chemical cocktail includes textile dyes, pharmaceutical residues, and heavy metals that create a toxic soup capable of dissolving organic matter and corroding metal infrastructure. Yet within this environmental apocalypse, an unprecedented grassroots movement has begun to take shape. In 2017, a single Facebook post changed everything. Afroza Rahman, a university student, shared images of the Buriganga's plastic-choked waters with a simple message: "If we don't clean our rivers, who will?" Within 72 hours, her post had been shared over 100,000 times, sparking a viral movement that would grow into Bangladesh's largest environmental initiative. BD Clean emerged from this digital outcry, transforming social media outrage into organized action. The movement's founders recognized that traditional top-down environmental approaches had failed spectacularly in Bangladesh. Instead, they pioneered a bottom-up strategy that mobilized ordinary citizens as environmental warriors. Their first cleanup event attracted 300 volunteers who removed 2 tons of plastic waste from a single kilometer of riverbank. The organization's growth trajectory defied all expectations. Within 6 months, BD Clean had established chapters in 57 districts across Bangladesh. Their volunteer network expanded from hundreds to thousands, then tens of thousands. By 2023, over 50,000 active volunteers were participating in coordinated cleanup operations, making BD Clean one of the world's largest grassroots environmental movements. Their methodology combines scientific rigor with community engagement. Each cleanup operation follows standardized protocols for waste categorization, contamination assessment, and ecosystem restoration techniques. Volunteers receive training in hazardous material handling, water quality testing, and ecosystem restoration techniques. The data collected feeds into a comprehensive database that tracks pollution patterns and cleanup effectiveness across the entire river system. But BD Clean's true innovation lies in its ability to transform environmental despair into collective hope, proving that ordinary people can accomplish extraordinary things when united by a common purpose. BD Clean's approach to river restoration represents a revolutionary fusion of traditional ecological knowledge and cutting-edge environmental science. Their cleanup operations target specific pollution sources using techniques adapted from industrial waste management and marine conservation. Volunteers employ specialized nets designed to capture microplastics while allowing aquatic organisms to pass through unharmed. These nets, constructed from recycled materials, can filter particles as small as 1 millimeter in diameter. The organization has developed innovative waste processing protocols that maximize environmental impact. Collected plastic undergoes sorting into 15 distinct categories, each requiring different recycling or disposal methods. High-density polyethylene bottles are processed through local recycling networks, while contaminated plastics are delivered to cement factories where they serve as alternative fuel sources. This circular approach ensures that removed waste doesn't simply relocate the pollution problem. Water quality monitoring reveals the measurable impact of BD Clean's interventions. In sections where intensive cleanup operations have occurred, dissolved oxygen levels have increased by an average of 35% over 18-month periods. Turbidity measurements show significant improvements, with some areas experiencing 50% reductions in suspended particulate matter. These improvements create conditions where aquatic life can begin to recover. The organization has pioneered community-based biomonitoring programs that use local fish populations as environmental indicators. Volunteers collect tissue samples that are analyzed for plastic contamination, heavy metal accumulation, and bacterial infection rates. This data provides real-time feedback on ecosystem health and guides strategic planning for future cleanup operations. Perhaps most remarkably, BD Clean has documented the return of fish species to previously dead river sections, proving that even severely damaged aquatic ecosystems retain the capacity for recovery when pollution sources are eliminated. The true power of BD Clean lies not in its technology or methodology, but in its ability to mobilize human networks across Bangladesh's complex social landscape. The organization operates through a decentralized structure that empowers local communities to design and implement their own restoration strategies. Village-level coordinators, typically respected community members, serve as bridges between BD Clean's technical expertise and local environmental knowledge. Volunteer demographics reveal the movement's remarkable diversity. University students make up approximately 30% of active participants, bringing energy and social media savvy to cleanup operations. Working professionals contribute 25%, often providing logistical support and financial resources. Perhaps most significantly, women represent 45% of BD Clean volunteers, challenging traditional gender roles in environmental activism and bringing unique perspectives to community engagement strategies. The organization has developed sophisticated training programs that transform ordinary citizens into environmental technicians. A typical volunteer receives 40 hours of instruction covering water quality assessment, waste categorization, ecosystem restoration, and community organizing. Advanced volunteers can pursue specialized certifications in hazardous material handling, environmental monitoring, and project management. This educational component ensures that BD Clean's impact extends far beyond immediate cleanup activities. Community engagement strategies recognize that lasting environmental change requires cultural transformation.
BD Clean organizes school programs that reach over 200,000 children annually, teaching environmental stewardship through hands-on river restoration activities. Adult education initiatives target market vendors, transport workers, and other groups whose daily activities directly impact river health. The movement's success in mobilizing such diverse participation demonstrates that environmental consciousness transcends traditional social boundaries when people see tangible evidence that their actions can create meaningful change. Despite its remarkable achievements, BD Clean faces fundamental limitations that highlight the complex relationship between grassroots activism and systemic environmental change. The organization's volunteers can remove visible plastic waste and restore localized river sections, but they cannot address the industrial pollution sources that contribute the majority of toxic contamination. Leather tanneries, textile factories, and pharmaceutical plants continue discharging untreated effluent at rates that overwhelm any cleanup efforts. The scale mismatch between BD Clean's capacity and the Buriganga's pollution